Trojan Philly. What's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, the future is so bright right now. Listen, I don't have the sunglasses on, but listen, I'm just listen. I'm overjoyed right now on all the things that are taking place with this USC football program, and I want you guys to consider everything that's taking place today. Um, this week as it relates to what USC's done. They got the number one running back in the country, according to the JUCO level. And he's a baller. And I don't, there were so many people that were asking me about the running backs, and I'll get into that another day because is the running back room overcrowded? Possibly. One of the things that was kind of the thing that I had issue with, especially as it relates to the receivers, I felt like we always got too many receivers. We seen Justin Ross just transfer out, but I'll talk about that another time. But I don't think you pass up on a guy like that. He's so explosive. He's so fast. He's elusive. And so when you look at that, the number one JUCO running back, and the fact that the new JUCO rule kicked in now, you got 4 years left with this guy. It's really go time. Also, when you look at what USC did just on the offensive line, you guys know we brought Reed to you yesterday. That is a need. Those who haven't seen the video, I'm telling you, it's just a 3-minute video I did with Reed committing, and I had a clip on there. It's like a 45-minute clip where he was absolutely just bulldozing over guys, man. Just like he was throwing his shoulder out to guys, man. Right when he hikes the ball, the way he plays that center position, he plays it like a general. You guys know the quarterback of the offensive line is going to be the center. And so when you look at that, that was a position of need. And so then also getting a big time Wingfield out of Purdue, getting that big time. We lost Manuel Pregnant, and now we got a guy to really come in and fill that slot. Look, man, I think it's really saying a lot right now what USC is doing in its offensive line. And then you look at the coach, the recruiting coordinator for Colorado State, / tight end coach / inside receiver coach. And the big part of it is with him, it's the recruiting coordinator part. The fact that he knows the landscape of LA, the fact that he knows California as a whole. Look, man, I think USC is doing some phenomenal things. So the only thing we're waiting on right now is going to be the GM spot and the linebacker spot. Like, who is it going to be as far as the GM spot? I have no idea. I saw something, but I don't even necessarily want to go that route and really talk about it from that perspective. But, there was a guy that popped in my mind. And oddly enough, there were several individuals that popped in my inbox yesterday on my Instagram and kind of felt the same way. There was a guy that I thought in my mind, and he just recently lost his job. And it's no other than Antonio Pierce, man. And I just want to go over some of his information real quick because I think Antonio Pierce, the Raiders' former coach that just got fired, look, he was a phenomenal linebacker coach. Even when he was with the Raiders, he was a phenomenal linebacker coach with Arizona State. This guy has experience in the NFL. And not only that, when you couple that with a guy like Chad Savage, who came from Colorado State, and he's a big-time recruiter. Look, man, don't sleep on it. You guys remember the Arizona State teams that we played? They had some dogs. You guys remember that D-line they had that we played just a couple years ago with Caleb and them? And they got decent linebackers. They had decent linebackers. I think when you look at a guy like Antonio Pierce, if he comes, but I think it's a possibility that it's an opportunity there based on the fact that he's from Southern California. That's the number one thing. Number two, you never know, the connections with Eric Henderson, but you get a guy like that in, his pedigree, his attitude. Like, I love Antonio Pierce's attitude when you talk about, just tough nose, no nonsense. And by the way, I'm a Raiders fan. They did fire him wrongfully. I mean, no question about it. It doesn't make any sense as to why they fired him like that. And really didn't. I think he wanted to draft a quarterback or bring a quarterback in. I can't remember. I read something, but they didn't really surround him around the right pieces. It's crazy after 1 year. But when you look at Antonio Pierce, man, he was a Super Bowl champion. You guys know that. Of course, he played in the 2006 Pro Bowl. But let's look at his coaching career as a player. Rather, let me do that first. Washington Redskins, 2001 to 2004. New York Giants, 2005 to 2009. And then, of course, he was as a coach, he was at Long Beach Poly. And then Arizona State from 2018 to 2019. He was the linebackers coach and the recruiting coordinator. And look, Arizona State, the fact that, look, I'm to the point now, well, let's load up on recruiting, period. I don't care. Let's load up on individuals that know how to recruit California, and I think it's going to help out because we got guys that know how to recruit the South now. We got Eric Henderson. We got Deanton Lynn. We got Doug Belt, who knows how to do a phenomenal job in the South. And look, by the way, Doug Belt is doing a great job with the defensive backs. These local guys that we've already got, Matt Riordan, Lockett, all those guys that are already committed to us. But you want to get that extra in there, two guys like that, to couple that with a guy like Chad Savage, a guy like Antonio Pierce, who really understands the landscape. Look, I think that problem would be solved if we were to get somebody like him in. And so he was the linebackers coach and the recruiting coordinator for Arizona State. In 2020, he was Arizona State's. He was the associate head coach, then co-defensive coordinator / linebackers coach and recruiting coordinator. Then he was in 2021. He was associate head coach at Arizona State, defensive coordinator and recruiting coordinator. And so that recruiting coordinator aspect really stayed by him. It was attached to him the whole time he was there. And to me, that alone, that says a whole lot. And that says to me, go after Antonio Pierce. And then he was, of course, he was with the Raiders. Now, the last time I said something like this, I made a prediction as far as the defensive coordinator. You guys remember I talked about Deanton Lynn. I said, go after Deanton Lynn. I said, it makes the most sense. He's right across the street, if you will, at UCLA, go right across town, rather. But go ahead and get him. He makes the most sense. He turned UCLA defense from number 11 to number 90-something to number 11 in the country. And I said it makes the most sense. He doesn't have to do a whole lot as far as moving or whatever, but he's just a phenomenal coach. I'm saying the same thing with Antonio Pierce. I think USC should absolutely go after Antonio Pierce. Now, do I have any insight? Do I have any information as to if USC is going to actually hire him? No, but I'm saying the same thing I said about Deanton Lynn. USC absolutely needs to go after Antonio Pierce. Now, you guys give me in the comments. You guys can tell me what you think. I think that will be a phenomenal pick. I think USC will be in great shape from the recruiting aspect and the coaching aspect. Listen, I'm out of here, man. Happy Thursday to everybody, man. Listen, until later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.